Today is a new day to start again. Take each moment one by one and do the best you can. Yesterday doesn't matter, it only serves as a ladder. Tomorrow isn't guaranteed, so make your plans accordingly. Today is a new day to start again. Take each moment one by one and do the best you can. Grand Rising, today is a new day to start again. It is 4/7/2025. I want to prepare everyone. It's a lot. I wrote a bunch. All right, I'm just going to stay on my writings, my script, if you will. So I went to church on Sunday, and I allowed everything to fall off. I got invited by someone to go to church, and it was kind of a spiritual moment for me. And so I wanted to follow up with that. But I did not go the last 2 weeks because I just didn't feel up for it. But I didn't really force myself. I did. I forced myself to get up to go to it today or yesterday. And I saw the person that invited me and then her husband. And they're both very nice people. But I was kind of, she asked me to sit with them, and I just really wanted to go off on my own to experience it. So I talked a little bit about it. That's why this took a minute, because it was kind of a funny moment. So I went on the edge, and then a guy came in. I was on the edge of the aisle, and I was there about 15 minutes early, and there was a pretty filled place. I mean, the place got pretty busy. The church. So I haven't been in a church in a while, so I'm just kind of standing there or sitting there on the aisle, and it starts to get more people in there. I should have repositioned myself. I was just trying to stay out of the way, and I actually am kind of in the way. So a guy's looking for a place to sit, and I see him walking. So as he's looking and trying to circle back, I motioned that he could come in to where I was at. I got out of the way. This is a long way to get there. I'm building into a good story here, I promise. So I let this guy get in, and he was standing kind of awkwardly next to me, and it was weird. So I'm just standing there, and there were 3 people in our aisle. I think there was a guy all the way at the end, and then there was somebody in the middle, and then me. And so I'm just standing there, and they started to sing. Maybe I should stay on here. So then later he left. So then I moved a little bit more to the middle, and still felt like I was in an awkward place. So then I'm just sitting there, and they're singing, and I was really trying to experience it, and I started crying. And not like outwardly crying, but I started tearing up. And it wasn't because like it was a moment for me, because I didn't resonate with the songs at all, and that's kind of why I was crying. I was just like, dang it. Because they were the verbiage of the songs are kind of against what I've been trying to say. It's strange. What I would say is it's like talking about following the way and giving yourself the out of not having to follow the way while you still say that you're following the way. Is kind of the vibe of it. And I don't want to get deep into how that's done, but that's my impression of what it is actually. Like, it's talking about, this is the stuff that you really need to do, and the early people did, and we now know that. But as long as we know that, and we acknowledge that every day, but we don't follow that, as we follow a little, but not really, it's okay, because we do acknowledge it. Which is not actually what it says. It says, drop all earthly belongings. Like, at the end of it, that's what it says. So, as I'm listening to these songs, that's kind of what they're embodying when they're singing it. And I just found it interesting. So I was crying. And so then I was thinking to myself, because part of it was praying for what you want kind of in the song. And I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, all I've ever really wanted, all I ever prayed for in my life to the Holy Spirit was for me to fall in love. And I didn't really know how to define that, I guess. Might have been part of it. I think it is really important whenever you do pray that you pray in a way that is logical, that makes sense. So you can't ask for just some blanket thing. That's why words are so important. But anyways, I don't want to go off script because I have so much written. So that's another reason why I was crying, because I'm just like, all I've ever asked for is for that, and I've never gotten that confirmation, and yet I still follow the way, and that's what was, because I've seen it. So then I go on with this story, because while I'm doing this, and I'm basically realizing that this probably isn't the right fit for me, and I don't know that I can interact in this situation very well, and I'm kind of crying about it in that way too. I'm not tearing. I'm just like that, just a little bit. And the lights are darker. So this girl she actually was walking by and had the same kind of situation where she didn't know where to sit. And so I pointed to her and said, "You can come here." And she came in and sat, and she was beautiful. And I'm just sitting there going, "Are you kidding? This would be amazing. What would happen? How could this?" And so there's like a little moment there where you're just like, I just said that I think this song is bogus. And then look, wow. and then like that's going on for about 8 minutes. And then a guy comes in and stands next to her, and then next thing I know, he's got his arm around her, and I'm like, oh, well, good for you guys. Like, I don't have jealousy. I enjoy the fact that somebody has somebody with them. I also thought about it as I was watching the whole interaction play out, and I think I would have a hard time explaining my position to somebody that was holding the Bible like that anyways, because I have a different position. And I have found that if I do get involved with someone again, it's going to be on the terms where they understand exactly who I am, and that's who I am. And if you want to be with that, then you need to know that going in. But I can't start the relationship off that way. I'm pretty intense though. So anyways, I thought it was funny. But I had no diminished faith from that, because I do see that that's available, and I'm sure that there's something available for me as well. I enjoyed the moment, actually, and I realized I don't work in church. I don't think a girl holding a Bible will probably share a life with me. I mean, I don't think that they will want to, because we're not going to the same place according to their belief system. And a girl who doesn't hold... And a girl that doesn't hold the Bible, I found doesn't generally see me, because I line up actually a lot with the Bible. But I don't know. That's what I've found. I think that's kind of my conundrum. Or I just suck, which is also apparent in sales as well. What's really important to remember is the way. It's really walking the walk. That's what I think my biggest contention with all of this is. In carrying the redemption of your failures. And I've failed a lot. And I used to be afraid of failure. I think failure has been made out to be a bad word when it might be one of the best words. I think. I mean, if you can acknowledge failure, then you can improve. There's nowhere to go but up. I'd almost rather be a failure all the time, because every step moving forward is a good step. Because you were a failure. Now I'm not. That could be the best way to live, maybe. A person who turns failure into goodwill. I like that. I hate that goodwill has become this profitable, like really bad. I mean, there's still good with it. I'm still going there. But a name that carries that, and actually the amount of money that they have, we should know what Goodwill is doing on a daily basis with the amount of money they rake in. A person who, whatever. I don't want to say that though. That's awful. What I would say is, the slate is clean. If you live by New Day, like I do, New day to start again. The slate is clean every day. Let's start over. My handshake, my oath, my purpose. How powerful is a smile? That's a big one. I've got to work on that. I have not been using my... I don't like being manipulative either, but that's not being manipulative. That's just using the power of a smile. But it's got to be genuine. I am a very playful person, and I usually have a really good environment. But when I'm put into a situation where I'm feeling like I'm always guarded, it diminishes what I'm able to do. But maybe that's for the best. I have learned a lot. I've learned a lot about how to maintain who I am in situations. You can change everything you thought was impossible in one moment. We're at 10 minutes. I'm sorry, but this is we got a long way to go, and I wrote it, so I'm going to talk about it because I've had some stuff here. Holy cow. All right, so there'll be an intermission. You might want to be able to go to the bathroom and stuff because this is going to be a minute if you want to follow through with this, but I do have some stuff written here. So I went through the smile. There's never been a better time to do the things you need to do right now. There's never been a better time. So I say, what is stopping me from becoming the best version of myself today? This is the kind of pep talk that gets me to about 10:01 in the morning. And then I'm back into David Michael Clark, or as my dad would say, I don't want to say it. It's GD. So I'm going to say, gosh darn it, Davey. That's what he'd say it with the other one, but he'd do it in a heavy manner. That was one of Bill Cosby's funniest bits. I thought my name was Jesus Christ or something like that. It was so funny. I think that the overall point of the Sermon on the Mount is like to give up all earthly belongings. And I felt like the sermon was doing what I said earlier, basically showing it, and then like it's a watered down version is what I would say. Most scripture is written like in the original scripture form in a very strategic way because the words were so much more powerful when they were written, if all of that's even true. But it shows dichotomy. The words are now watered. I would say watered down is a good way to say it in a weird esoteric kind of way. There's fire and water. So there's the threat of hell comes from the Bible. That doesn't actually come from the Bible, actually, which is another really ironic thing. But that threat of hell, the fire, is a big part of, it's not so much the pearly gates, it's more the fear of the fire. And then the washing of original sin by baptizing is like what I mean is more of the watering of the... But John the Baptist, I mean, that we really should have like full church sessions on that. But none of it matters unless you walk the walk. To really give the Sermon on the Mount, you should walk the walk. That's what the Christians, they did in the beginning. Like that's where this whole movement comes from. If you look at the scholarly understanding of how Christianity became what it is, the Sermon of the Mount was very powerful, and people literally gave up all of their earthly belongings and started saying, we're going to live the way. And the people that were running stuff were like, you can't do that. And we're like, we don't really need anything from you. We need nothing from you. We have it all. So leave us alone. And they were like, no, you can't. And it spread. That's, I think, I want to try to stay on my script here because I did walk this together. That's what true Christians did. That's That was the way. Children. That's what led to the crucifixion. To kneel. Give me liberty or give me death. Liberty to follow the way. Don't need money. Don't need fame. Don't need a credit card to ride this train. I rode a bus a lot. I didn't need a credit card for it. It was free. The Power of Love, Huey Lewis and the News. I think I can sing that song, and I think that would be a lot of fun. So that's one of my new songs. That's one of the things I really do enjoy about doing these videos is I come up with songs that I never would have thought to sing, but I can do some Huey. And I think it's funny because I put in Huey Lewis and the News. That's what his name of his band was. And The Power of Love is actually a very powerful song. But news was stolen. Like the good news, that's what the way is. That's what the original Christians called it, the good news. It's not what the news became. The good news is what we bring every day. That is New Day to Start, really, is to bring the good news. Live your life so genuinely that it's the shirt off your back to help in whatever situation you have to while you're there without having to worry about. I mean, you should worry about tomorrow, but that's a big part of capitalism that I think diminishes the way. Anyways, it's woo-wee. It is the essence. And it's basically every religion comes back to it. So you don't need any of the structure because it's just there. And I'm not kidding when I say that I think it's love is what it is. It's true love is what, if everybody just truly just loves, it can grow. And this is where I think why it was such a thing where they had to attach the crucifixion to it. And I'm losing people here, I'm sure, but when you crucify it and then you give your faith to it, then you don't have to live that way because Jesus did it for you. What I'm saying is if everybody said that don't count, you have to do it yourself. That puts a lot more pressure on you being a good person. And just most people just don't want to stack up to that because money gets in the way. Because Jesus tried to flip over the table. People don't understand the reasoning that I'm trying to give you is supposed to be to help improve our human spirit. Because what I'm trying to say is if we got to that point where they tried to stop it because it was so powerful, but now we have these, you could spread it so fast that it couldn't, they can't stop it, whoever they is. We are a reflection. We mirror each other. There is no such thing as time. It is not real. There's no such thing as money. It's not real. Because there is no such thing as money or time either. Ether. Then I think I got poetic. Earth. What is real? I guess is what you want to say. At the end of the day, today, I will look back and then look forward. I actually love it. One of my favorite things to do when I've talked about different things, but I had a little dog. I've had a couple little dogs in my life. And both of them, actually, that I have a really connection with. When you would put them in the bathtub, they hated it. I don't want to get in that damn bathtub. And you get them in there and you got to hold them and they're little dogs and they got hair and you're just trying to whatever. And I had women in my life that had a thing about don't let the dog just run around because it's going to get dog stuff all over everything. But it's so much fun to watch them run. Because they're so happy when they get out of that bathtub. They got it in their ears and they wouldn't do all that. And it's joyful to watch. So I know that it's going to get some stuff on, but I mean, it's just really hard to give that up. So I got myself, I would try to hold the dog, but the dog wants out. And sometimes, things happen. He gets out. But I get in trouble for it because the little dog gets to have some joy. Whatever. What's better than watching? It's worth it. It's worth it to me and to the dog, I think. Personal awareness is allegiance to mother. If you don't know you're doing wrong, then you aren't. Or if you're able to convince yourself that you're not doing wrong. If you convince yourself to do bad things because that is your way, so be it. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. Speaking words of wisdom. I just went on the fly on that. That's a good song too. I should sing Let It Be. Your awareness may change or it won't. You'll have to reflect or you don't. That rhymes. Divinity is in the light and shadows, basically both. And I think that's important. I was going to really tackle that because I was like, is dark and light the same? Because it's really just absence. And but it's constantly on a cycle, regardless. And the cycle shows the way is what I was trying to get into. And you could get that's why astrology I think is so important. But I do need to really reflect on this shadows because I was in some discussions and we were talking about light and shadows. And I'm still stuck on the physicality of what shadows are. But I don't want to get too deep into it. Anyways, you got Jupiter, you got Mars, you got Venus, you got Mercury, you got the moon, and you got the sun. That's the heavens. For me, that's the heavens. What for me, we can't go there. And until I'm proved, I know that there's a lot of people that say that we are, but I don't buy it because we haven't been there since 74, before I was born. So I don't buy it. I don't buy it. Do you buy it? We haven't been there since 1974. That would be it. If we go there again, it's done. Our true dictionary is, or our true dichotomy is the heavens and the earth for me. So they're separate is what I'm trying to say. So it doesn't matter. They do matter. They are part of the cycle. They are part of something that always and will be and never has not been, from what we can tell. The earth is something different than that. We are earth. We are earth. We aren't that. We're powered by that, probably. So we are beholden to that because it powers us in the moment. It's what gives us now. It's what gives us right now. That does. And this. But when you're aware of that, and in each moment, that we do have importance, depending on what our reach is, too. Like if only 3 people watch this video, then it's only going to have an effect on those 3 people and the people that they touch. But if 100,000 people watch this video, and everybody says love at the same time right now, love, like real love. If you've watched this far, you kind of have an understanding. I bet there's 100,000 people in this world. I got to believe there's 100,000 people that vibe with this. But I would say if you said love, just once, right now, 1, 2, 3, love, I bet that would drop. Where we put our awareness effectively and collectively is our free will. That's every moment that we have that power. And if you become powerful, with great power comes great responsibility. So you better measure up or you'll fall. If everyone started making paper planes, so let's, instead of doing the love thing, everybody's got to make a paper plane today and fly it. Just make the best one you can make, and we'll have a contest, and you can show me a picture in comments. if you make the best, you got to show a little clip. I think you can do that, of a paper airplane just going across the room. And I only get like 3 people to do this. So I'll do one. I'm going to do that. I'm going to make a paper airplane. I'm going to fly it across the room. It's going to be a basic one because I ain't got a lot of time. But if you want to make a cool one, nobody's going to do this. I'm trying to figure out ways to get some interaction maybe. If everyone made paper airplanes, that would be a day of fun for everybody. That'd just be a lot of paper airplanes though. What would that do? Nothing. But imagine if everyone, for no particular reason, kind of like Forrest Gump, just started being good. Just do the right thing. Instead of doing this because everybody tells you to do that, but you know it's not the right thing. You're just like, well, I think I'm not going to do that today. Why? I think that I don't have to. They don't want that for sure, whoever they is. It seems like this should be really easy, though. What do I really need to be? Happy? That's what I want to be, is happy. I was asked that yesterday. And in the end of it, so I guess you have to define what happy is. And for me, it's kind of just doing what I've been doing. Really. Just don't mess up my stuff that I got going on, including myself. I don't really need much. Do you? Genuinely. Do you need that much? That's what I say the biggest part of the Jesus movement, I think, was like, that's when you can stand there and go, you know what? I actually don't need anything from you. Here's a little song I wrote. You might want to sing it note for note. Don't worry. Be happy. Bobby McFerrin, that video is really a good watch. That's not a bad thing to do every day. Watch that video every day. We have a choice every day. And on the real, even to all the really, really rich people, I do think that the slate is actually clean every day, according to natural law. What was true yesterday may not be true tomorrow. I'm kind of fired up today. I like it. I haven't felt my fire in a while. 27 minutes. Oh, we're not that bad. I'm almost done. Maybe I can get things going a little bit on my days off. I got 2 days off in a row. I got up early this morning. I'm very happy with my prayer. I've been working on praying, and if you're gonna pray, you might as well make sure you do it right. So I've been working on learning how to pray. I think that people that really understand what I'm talking about know how important that is. And I really haven't worked on that. I've just been kind of running around, but put your true intent. And that's kind of where the zone is, like in golf or in basketball, when you just start going through the motions in whatever you're doing, but you do it in such a way that is excellence is what it is. And it just, you're not really doing anything, but you feel it. That's where I think people that get addicted to that kind of stuff, they think that they are doing something sometimes. But what you have to do is realize that you're just enjoying that. And you can do it for a while and just always go back to the ski slope that you love, or the golf course that you love to play. Today, always remember, sometimes love hurts. But in the end, it's great, because the Tao is great. And that's, if you content yourself to that, I like sleeping in tents too. If you content yourself to that, tent and golf and yoga, maybe an electric bike. Yeah, all that sounds pretty good. I think it's doable too. So hope everybody has a great day out there. Do great. Be great. Be grateful. Be grateful. Have an awesome day out there.